The Story of the Cat with Boots. The Miller Man. Once upon a time there was an old man who worked as a miller and had 3 sons. As the man was nearing death, he called his sons to divide his inheritance among them. He gave his eldest son a mill, his middle son a donkey, and his youngest son a cat. Each son accepted his share of their father's legacy with contentment and went about their usual work. The youngest son blames himself. However, after some time, the youngest son began to blame himself for accepting the cat, which seemed useless. When the cat heard the youngest son's complaints, it asked him for a pair of boots, a hat, and a bag to prove that it could be useful. The young man brought the items the cat requested, and the cat put on the clothes and set off toward the forest. There it found a rabbit, caught it, and put it in the bag. The cat then went to the king's palace and said, "I have brought you a gift from my master, the wealthy Lord Carabas." Every day the cat went into the forest, caught birds and rabbits, and sent them to the king, claiming they were from his rich master, who owned vast lands and properties. Over time, the king grew more and more curious to meet the owner of these gifts. The king and his daughter go to the gardens. One sunny day, the cat chose to arrange a meeting between the king and his master. It took its poor owner to the river to swim. When the poor man got into the water, the cat stole his clothes and left him there naked. Meanwhile, the king and his daughter were out for their usual stroll in the gardens when their carriage passed by the naked man. The cat cried out for help, and the king ordered his guards to bring fine and beautiful clothes for the owner of the cat. Once dressed in the luxurious clothing, the poor man continued his stroll in the gardens with the king and his daughter. As the king's carriage moved along, the cat walked in front, asking the people to tell the king that all the lands and gardens belonged to his master, the gentleman. This was in exchange for freeing them from the tyranny of the wicked man who controlled many of their lands and paid them little. The cat got what it wanted. As the king and his daughter passed through the gardens, the farmers informed the king that all the lands belonged to the gentleman, just as the cat had said. The cat confronts the wicked man. At that moment, the cat approached the wicked man's castle. The cat felt intimidated by the man's appearance, size, and rough voice. The wicked man began to transform into various animals. The cat then asked the wicked man to turn into a mouse, and when he did, the cat swiftly caught him and ended his reign. The gentleman marries the king's daughter. Meanwhile, the king's carriage approached the castle of the wicked man, which now belonged to the gentleman. However, he was no longer poor. He owned a large and magnificent castle. The gentleman married the king's daughter, and he and the cat lived happily and joyfully in the castle, thanks to the cat's cleverness and wisdom.